any kind of mental health disorders are essentially metabolic disorders of the brain. Once again, thank you so much for all your wonderful comments and the feedback that you've been giving me for the videos that I've been making. It's really heartening, and I so appreciate the time you've taken to give me that information, to share your journey, to share your stories of how you struggled with fibromyalgia or with chronic fatigue or with long COVID and the challenges around the medication. I thought in this video I'll just sort of pursue a couple more comments, and I thought it would be useful to clarify a particular question that a viewer had asked. So one of you very kindly asked whether the immune changes that happen could be a trigger for PTSD, or vice versa. Can PTSD change that? And what can we do to bring it back? It's a very interesting question, and this is something that is now the focus of really good research in many parts of the world. The main thing that we realize is that even though we call it PTSD, and that feels like a very mental health kind of disorder, and anything to do with the immune system feels like it's biological and something that you can see on a blood test, we are now converging. Science finally is converging on the understanding that there is a deep connection between the nervous and the immune system, and that in a way, to quote the words of a Harvard professor called Chris Palmer, that any kind of mental health disorders are essentially metabolic disorders of the brain, which means that these are brain disorders wherein the metabolism, how the energy is produced, how the immune system and the various hormone system is impacted. So this itself has become a field that is being studied called psychoneuroimmunology, where they've realized that a lot of what we used to think as psychological or psychiatric conditions like depression or anxiety will indeed have a component where the nervous and immune system are also affected, and the immune system is actually inflamed. It's putting out chemicals. So there is a connection that the immune system triggered, and if it triggers in certain areas of the brain where it affects the energy output, and if those areas of the brain are coding for a variety of traumatic experiences, you can have all the symptoms that we traditionally associate with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's very important to know that that can be reversed. And that's where the research now is showing that for a lot of these mental health disorders, there is a deep link, because the body plays a role in how that mental health disorder manifests itself. If you think about it, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, once you have the emotional changes that you feel with anxiety, sort of the panic feeling, it transmits into a fight and flight response, which makes your body muscles go tight and tense. With depression, 5 out of the 9 questions on the most usual scale that we use to diagnose depression would also be right if you just had significant fatigue and tiredness in your body muscles. So we realize that there is that link with the body. So a lot of research now is saying that if you want to reverse or make some difference to the symptoms of PTSD, then it's about starting to use physical activity and movements that your body can actually help, and that in a way allows for the processing. And when you do it that way, your immune system also changes. So where I have read and also met patients who have had changes in their PTSD symptoms, it's often been a combination of activities like physical activity, optimizing the sleep, and taking up some kind of relaxation technique or processing technique like somatic experiencing or tracking to actually make a difference in the emotional disorder that they have. So thank you so much once again for the question and allowing me to give this comment. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it of value. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel, and click on the bell button to be notified when the next video comes along.